My history with Friday the 13th is a little spotty. I haven't necessarily seen it, sat down and watched every last one of them. I don't think I've ever seen 3.
The only way to see 3 is in 3D, and that doesn't happen much anymore.
That's one of the reasons.
I was fortunate enough at the what used to be a wonderful theater in the Milwaukee area, the Times. I don't know if it still is. I haven't been there in forever.
It's there.
They changed owners, and I don't know what happened, but they played it there a few times in 3D. And the reason they could play it and some theaters can't is it's dependent on the type of screen.
Right.
When they call it a silver screen, they need a literal silver screen to properly project that version of 3D. I don't know a whole lot about 3D from that era, but they have the right screen, they could play it, so I saw it there twice, and it's kind of the only way to see that one.
That's the only reason to see that one, right?
Yeah, there's lots of great 3D gags, and not a whole lot else going on.
No.
But if you want to see a yo-yo coming right at you, that's the one to go to.
Did you want to talk about Part 5 at all? I didn't get a chance to watch it this time around.
That's fine. Part 5 is the Black Sheep. It's the movie that doesn't have Jason in it. So a lot of people don't like it because of that. It's a copycat killer. It's not actually Jason.
Okay.
I kind of love Part 5.
Yeah.
Love Part 5. It's directed by Danny Steinman, who before this directed some sleazy pornos, and he directed the sleazy grindhouse classic Savage Streets with Linda Blair.
Oh, okay.
Too bad you're not double-jointed.
Why?
Because if you were, you'd be able to bend over and kiss your ass goodbye.
And this movie feels like it takes place in the same world as Savage Streets. This feels like, it's a Paramount movie, but it feels like a sleazy 42nd Street grindhouse movie that somehow got released to the mainstream. It is such a gross movie.
Yeah.
Oh, lighten up, Demon. You'll feel a lot better after you shit.
And all the characters are completely exaggerated and feel unrealistic. There's it takes place at this group home for troubled kids, kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Okay.
And Tommy Jarvis gets sent to this group home.
Right.
But there's this redneck lady that lives next door to this group home with her son Junior.
You big dildo, eat your fucking slop.
And they're doing this ridiculously over the top Southern accent thing. I don't know why they have Southern accents in New Jersey, but they're just covered in dirt and filth through the whole movie for no reason. And every character sounds like a vulgar New Yorker. I don't know why.
I gotta take a crap. Crap my ass!
Oh, God!
Bunch of pussies.
Say it like you mean it, Ma!
Would you shut the fuck up?
Every character has some sort of attitude, and they're swearing constantly, which goes along with Savage Streets, because that movie has some of the best vulgar dialogue of all time.
I wouldn't fuck him if he had the last dick on Earth.
I'm gonna fuck that bitch. Go fuck an iceberg.
And the nudity in Part 5 is way more gratuitous.
Yeah.
Because it comes from the director that would do these sleazy exploitation movies.
That's what he's used to.
The final girl, who is not really built up throughout most of the movie, she's just the final girl because she's one of the few characters that's left. The end of the movie takes place, it's raining, and she's, through the entire climax of the movie, she's wearing a white, see-through, wet t-shirt with no bra underneath.
Jesus.
For the entire climax. She's fighting Jason with a chainsaw. It's completely ridiculous.
Wow.
So I like it for that. It's incredibly sleazy and laughably stupid. and speaking of too many characters.
Oh, God.
I had to make another chart, and I had to do a fold-out chart.
Oh, no.
To cover all of our characters.
Jesus, God.
These half of the characters it introduces solely to have them killed off in that same scene. We get introduced to all these teens at the Troubled Youth Center, and you're like, oh, okay, those are our characters that are going to get killed. Mm-hmm. And then we keep introducing new characters after that. Oh,
jeez.
So, there's still only 20 minutes left of the movie, and we're still being introduced to new characters just to be killed.
God, that's one of the worst things you can do in a slasher movie. It's like, yep, we don't have enough kindling. We've got to rebuild the fire.
In this case, it's so gratuitous that it's funny, though.
Yeah.
They introduce Miguel Nunez, who is an actor that was in Return of the Living Dead.
Some damn enchiladas.
You gonna be all right?
He eats some bad enchiladas. And so he goes to an outhouse, and his girlfriend is standing right next to the outhouse, and they serenade each other while he's having diarrhea.
All right.
And that's Friday the 13th 5.
Ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby,
Hey, baby.
ooh, baby, ooh, baby.
Jeez.
I could talk about it for hours, but we'll move on to the better film.
Bunch of pussies.
For the first time, you really get a sense of him as being this unrealistically strong kind of mythic figure.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's returned from hell somehow.
Yes.
Everything I tried to do in the movie also was something that you couldn't do as a normal human being.
He doesn't use a lot of weapons in this one necessarily. There's a lot of just crushing and breaking.
Yeah, one of the cops, he just squishes his head.
Yeah, because he's supernatural now, and that really does drive it home. Like, you don't see anything like that in 4. He's not going to turn anybody's, rip anybody's head clean off.
And the one after this is the first one with Kane Hodder. And Kane Hodder really brought kind of he really did bring a character to Jason, like with the way he is heavy breathing, where his whole chest moves.
Okay.
And yeah, there really is a consistency of character after he takes over, where you really get this sense of, without any dialogue, this sense of like anger.
Okay, sure.
So, and
well,
I feel like that works with what the character's supposed to be, but it's not till like part 6 or 7 where that really comes across.
Well, yeah, because but that's the thing. By that point, he's so far removed from his original sort of origins.
Yeah.
He's literally come back from the dead. He's literally a supernatural monster, and he doesn't. It's interesting that he's so angry because he doesn't even really need to be. He can just do this because he wants to, just because he's a killing machine, and that's the thing he does. And by Freddy versus Jason, that's what he is.
Yeah.
He's literally a tool.
Yes. Well, he's pissed off about his childhood. He watched his mom get decapitated, and he drowned.
Yeah, how long are you gonna hold on to that grudge, man? Jeez.
As long as there are people hanging out at this camp.
That's true. If they would all just leave him be.
Outsiders come, they don't know where to walk. They bring trouble. They just won't be left alone, and so does he.
So does who? Or leave him where he is under the fucking water for once.
Yeah.
That was the one that was one scene or one shot that I think was actually comedic without meaning to be. Was at the very end. He's been all chopped up and he's underwater and he's stuck there by the chain, and then zooms in and like there's his eye alive and like he's still alive under there. I could just imagine just like a Scott Bakula just, oh boy.
Going on your next adventure.
Yeah.
Oh God. I gotta keep doing this. Well, it is something kind of interesting they do in Freddy versus Jason, even though that movie's pretty silly. But at one point they do show Freddy kind of gets a glimpse into Jason's sort of subconscious, and he's seeing this it's like a purgatory that Jason's in, where it's nothing but dragging dead teens into his cabin.
Right.
It's just like this endless cycle that he goes through. It's like this repetition.
Yeah.
And that's his life. I exist solely to kill campers.
Yeah, and that's the thing. By that point that he's become a supernatural being, he really just exists to kill campers.
Yeah.
That's it. So you can play that either way, and that's where it becomes interesting when Kane Hodder's characterization. That's interesting that starts there, where he's really kind of past specifics and into just he kills kids.
Yeah.
He kills campers.
Yeah, it's really different than like the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, where like the first movie, Freddy comes out as like a fully formed character with like a full mythology, and you completely understand him, and then it's like a blueprint for all the sequels.
Right.
And then with Friday the 13th, it's like they didn't know what the fuck they were doing from movie to movie for the first handful of them.
Yeah, and that's people often talk about how immediately, in Nightmare 2, where like they're breaking the rules. Friday the 13th didn't really have rules.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes no sense why Jason's the killer in part 2.
No.
It's still, I don't really understand it. His mom kills in part 1 because camp counselors let her son drown because they were off having sex.
Yeah.
She gets decapitated. We find out in part 2, I guess Jason didn't drown and he saw her get decapitated. Where was he when this happened?
Yeah. So right from the first step there, you're just like, but
it doesn't make any sense. You have to gloss over all that.
Yeah, you just got to let it go. So maybe if you're really watching these, as they were coming out, you were ready by this point to just be like, I'm ready to accept anything because there's no continuity set up. Fuck it. Yeah. He's gonna fight Carrie in the next one. Sounds cool.
You can only take it too far, though.
Yeah.
When you get to, I don't know, have you ever seen Jason Goes to Hell?
No. Jason
Goes to Hell is a terrible, terrible, terrible Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah.
It's a kind of okay movie on its own if you can separate it from Friday the 13th. But it veers so far off course where like Jason is now the body that he inhabits, that he's inhabited for all these movies, is actually just like it's a little slug monster that's in his body that jumps from body to body. They blow up Jason at the beginning of the movie, which is kind of a fun subversion. The opening of that movie starts with like every cliche. It's like a girl goes to the cabin and she takes a shower and the lights go out and Jason chases her through the woods. But then like the FBI shows up and just blows him up. And that's in the opening of the movie. They blow up Jason. You're like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. That's cool.
What else are we going to do?
But then it turns out that, oh, Jason is just a body-hopping slug monster.
Maybe he's been that since part 6.
That's one step too far.
Yeah, that's fair.
You want to have Jason, you want to have him killing teens. If he comes back by a bolt of lightning, that's fine, but he's still Jason.
Yeah. Was that the one immediately after Manhattan?
Yeah.
Because Manhattan ends with him, like, melting into a sewer.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, there's
every night at midnight in the sewers of Manhattan, they unleash a bunch of toxic wastes. And it melts Jason, and he transforms back into his child self.
Yeah.
But he's not a mutant anymore.
That's hard to come back from. I'll give him that.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I have kind of a soft spot for that too, just because it has its own internal logic. Like, how does Jason get to Manhattan? Well, he gets on a boat. It's sure. And, that's a good little captive area for everyone to get killed in.
Yeah.
That totally works for me.
I don't mind part 8. A lot of people hate that one.
Yeah.
Because it's called Jason Takes Manhattan, and he spends 90% of the movie on a boat. And then when he gets to Manhattan, it's Vancouver.
Well, yeah.
But Jason on a boat,
great.
That's different.
Yeah.
It's the last one that has that, like we were talking about, like with the Harry Manfredini music and the general like tone of these movies. Part 8 is the last one to really have that samey feel to it. And so I like it because of that. And I like the look of Jason, masked Jason. When he takes his mask off, he looks terrible. But Kane Hodder's good in it, so it's got some good kills. I'm not too down on Jason Takes Manhattan.
Well, that's
that ending with the toxic waste is fucking stupid. But.
Well, yeah. But, again, what are you going to do? He's just going to go to Manhattan and get, locked somewhere again? Something's got to happen. He's been under the lake for fucking 2 movies already.
Yeah.
we gotta move this along somehow. He can't just go back.